What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ideal 3D Projects. This project, what we have going on is we want to, in OBS, be able to switch scenes with the press of a button. All in all, this is going to be 5 switches altogether, but in this video, we're just going to work with one switch today. This was a pretty hard process for me, even without being able to code. What we're going to be doing is vibe coding. We're going to have ChatGPT, and it actually wasn't ChatGPT that was able to help me finalize this project. It was Claude. So if you want to see a straight competition where ChatGPT failed in comparison to where Claude outperformed, this would be that video for you. With a Raspberry Pi Pico, we're going to try to program some programming into it to be able to get that switch to switch OBS back and forth without having to use the keyboard and use our own external switch on a Raspberry Pi Pico. Here's what the Raspberry Pi Pico looks like. And we'll get some better images too. And here's what the chocolate switch looks like. And right now I just have a 2-pin setup, and it's hooked up to 14 and hooked up to ground. So let's get in that and go check this out. All right, so we started this out in ChatGPT over here. I thought that GPT would be able to get me through everything. We started out with MicroPython, but we found out that we actually needed KMK. So we had to download CircuitPython. And to be able to do that, what we did was it just gave me a link to go to download the KMK firmware right here. And it gave me the zip folder. So I downloaded that. I went to the Pico, the CircuitPython.org, and I went to the Pico Raspberry Pi that I have, and then I downloaded the UF2 folder. What you do is you have to plug in your Raspberry Pi at this point in time, but to do that, you have to hold your button that's on it, because that will be your boot select that's on it. You'll go to plug it in, and this screen will pop up. And what you'll do is you'll transfer the UF2 folder in there, and what it will do is it will flash this to a CircuitPython, and it will bring up right in this left-hand side Python, CircuitPython, instead of the RP1, RP2. So we'll let it reboot back up, and now we have CircuitPython right here. So CircuitPy, and what we need to do is we need to bring our KMK files right in here, will be the next step. So we'll go in here, we'll go into the KMK folder main, and then we'll go grab the KMK file and just drag and drop it right in here. Now, after this, I had to go back and forth with GPT because it just wasn't working with GPT and I. And I'll show you right here. So if you can see the rest of this, the rest of it was all just ChatGPT and me going through the aspects of like, hey, this isn't working, and this isn't working, and this isn't working. And then it's like, yeah, try this. Yes, try this. Yes, try this. And I'm like, hey, it still isn't working. Can I run CircuitPy in Thonny? And then we had to go over it. Do I write it in Shell? And it told me everything. It was really cool. So I learned a lot from this. I still have a lot to learn. Don't get me wrong. But we ended up going back and forth on this like crazy. Now I had to go into Thonny, and I had to go in and save as and download the boot.py, because that's what we ended at, was trying to get the boot.py, and what it was the code.py to be able to finish the setup. So what I had to do was download the boot.py that it gave me, and I had a lot of trouble and it still didn't work. So with Claude being the powerhouse that it is, I went over to the, what it said to be for coding at least. I went over to Claude, and Luckily, I broke everything down. This was the code that ChatGPT gave me. This was the thing that I wanted to have happen. I wanted to have OBS, and I wanted to have the hotkeys of Control-Alt-Shift-1 and Control-Alt-Shift-2 for scene 1, 2 to switch back and forth. Now, it was awesome because Claude did this as a coder and took me in and actually said, hey, try this, and then said, hey, we can check this out in Thonny and get a report back and see what it says, and then tell me. And then it said this, and then gave me these other things to type in, and then it said, hey, tell me what this says after importing this. And then I tell it what it says, and then it tells me, hey, do this, do that. And then I do this again, and then it didn't overwrite, so it deleted it. So then it tells me, hey, perfect, that works too. Just make sure that the new boot.py you downloaded is now sitting in the root of the CircuitPy drive along code.py in the KMK folder. So after doing all this, it ended up working, and now I'm able to switch with that button back and forth. So here will be a quick little demo of me doing that with that button. Hello, how art thou doing today? Let's switch over here. Alright, and I got this all paired up to where the sound matches and everything too. So we got the switch here, and we got a different perspective. So I like this. Hopefully I'll be able to get this mobile so that at any point in time when I want to press a button and switch whatever camera and whatever viewpoint I want to talk to you in, then I can do that. I think that this was really cool. If you ended up liking this project, make sure to like, share, subscribe this, and watch out for more videos. Hey, catch you later, and here's one more switch. Peace.